Now, this is something I don't recommend, but it's rather something I'm going to explain in this video and why these things happen. And I get it. I get why it happens. I just don't recommend it, and I just don't think it's the right move. I get it. I just don't think it's the right move. I'm going to explain why men become players. And it's for the simple fact that if you look at the majority of men out there, bro, like, they're so far off from the female they're trying to obtain. If you see the way that most women are, they have so many different men just there. They're just there, bro. In the woodworks, they're just there on their pursuit to get the best man they can get. So think about all these men that are just there in her orbiter. She's got all these different men she's messing with from time to time. She keeps tabs on them. Most of these guys, besides one in the end, is going to get screwed. So that's the life of most men. That's going to come to an end. So most men invest time and resources to women they want, all for it to fall through time and time and time and time again. This is the exact formula that turns men into players. I don't think there's that many bad men in the world where they're just born ready to destroy all women. I just don't think that's the truth. I think a lot of women do things to a lot of men to get what they want. And it leads men to say, you know what? I'm going to do the exact same thing the other way around. I'm going to go and I'm going to take what I want now, and y'all know what that thing is. So that's what happens. And like I said, I don't recommend it. I don't. What I recommend doing, even if you're that guy that got screwed, is to go back to the drawing board, improve your life significantly, reinvent yourself, improve your life significantly. And as time goes on, you're going to get a bit older and you're going to qualify for a younger chick that you want. There's nothing else you can do besides that. Because even if you do become a player and stuff like that, bro, it's like, even if you get over on somebody or whatever you do, you get over on a bunch of people, at the end of the day, you still did not get what you wanted. You did short term, but it's gone. So now what you gonna do, bro? You got it, but now what you gonna do, bro? You got it, but now what you gonna do, right? Like, it always comes back down to you having nothing that you actually want. I think every man and woman alive deep down wants the right person in their lives. I just think most men and women are not willing to do what it takes to make that happen, and it takes patience. It takes a lot of consistency on your end and making the right moves. So if you don't do it, you may never get that thing. And I think everyone today, both men and women in the world, are trying to take the easy way out to do things that way, and it doesn't pay off. It never did pay off. It never will pay off. And you're just going to waste a lot of time doing those things. So I think in the perspective of women, they view men as natural players, just out of nowhere, just all men's this way, and women get played too. Like, women play, obviously, but women also get played. Vice versa. And I just think we're living in such a cold-hearted, cutthroat, ruthless world that most people is taking that easy way out, and nobody wants to improve themselves to become something very valuable to the opposite gender. And I think that's the only option anybody has. And if you do become that person, you will land on somebody that you actually really want, and they ain't gonna mess that up. You ain't gonna mess that up. You got yourself a match. But other than that, it's gonna be a lot of games, a lot of stuff being played, and you see it and you hear it from all these other channels. I'm so far different than all these other channels that you're gonna hear dating advice on or anything like that. Like, a lot of those guys are giving you advice on toxic women only, and they themselves think most women's that way because that's who they deal with. Yeah, the stuff they're saying is the truth towards these toxic modern women. But there's always somebody out there who's not like that, and you have to work hard and in a way as a man to separate yourself to get that one special thing that ain't the typical modern woman. It's exactly what you have to do, and if you're not willing to do what it takes, you're going to deal with the typical average modern woman who's going to do crazy stuff. And same thing vice versa for modern women. If you don't separate yourself, you're probably going to deal with guys that you're not going to be compatible with. It just seems like on somebody's end, something's messing up on somebody's end. It just seems like it's going that way today. And people have no idea the type of patience and consistency it actually takes to make things happen in the way that you want it to happen as a man or a woman. And being a player, or as a female, leading a bunch of guys on while you try to find the one, also is not the answer, because I think a lot of damaged women do those things because they are not confident in themselves. That's how they have to move. If you were so confident, you could move by yourself, improve yourself, and be perfectly ready for that thing that's going to come. That's just the way it is. You're not going to be dealing with a bunch of guys and going crazy. Like, I'm telling you full well, this is how it goes. And how many people's actually willing to do what I'm trying to explain right now? Barely anybody. It takes courage because you're going to feel a bit left out if you're not playing the game, if you're not involved in these modern society games and ways. You have to be the bigger person and not do that, but rather focus on life and build yourself up, because you're going to build yourself up so high, you're going to be far more attractive than every other person who participated in these damaging activities, spiritually and mentally, that you're going to be the top and the top pick. You're going to be the number one draft pick, whether you're a man or a woman. And even when you are the number one draft pick, you don't just take the first thing that looks a little bit good. Like, you stay patient. You stay patient and you really wait for something that like blows your mind, because you will get that thing that blows your mind. I just think this stuff, we are breaking this down on a psychological level when it comes to players and even females and stuff like that. But it's pretty simple when you really think about it. When you put two and two together, it makes sense. It makes sense as to why people do the things they do. Like, it makes sense. It's just not right. It's not right because they ain't right. If you get yourself right, you'd be surprised at what's going to be there in your life. And maybe not like this, but it's coming. And it's because of the things that you decided to do in your life. And you decided to not mess around. You decided to not mess about. but you rather stayed on your mission. Because most people, bro, like, they get a little something they want and they're gone. They get a little something they want and they're gone. Everyone's messing with each other psychologically today. It's like you're talking to some chick, or if you're a chick, you're talking to some guy. Things might be going good for a bit. You catch some kind of vibe you like, and then all of a sudden things start to take a turn. And then it's like it starts to mess with your mind psychologically. You start to get a little frustrated and angry, and you're having thoughts you don't want to have. And bro, it's wild. And it's because of how many people are dealing with other people. Like, if you can't communicate clearly with the person you're dealing with, don't take it seriously. Don't actually be invested until you're given a reason to literally go that even extra step to invest even a little bit more. Y'all have to be on the same page. Y'all have to talk about literally everything, bro. And you know how rare that is in itself today? Because most people, men and women, are hiding a lot of things. Like, there's just secrets being held. Like, you can tell. You can just tell by some of the chicks you might find yourself talking to. Like, there's stuff about them that's just not being said. So why would you take them serious as far as a relationship partner? It's hilarious, bro. Some of these chicks, they would love nothing more for you to take them seriously, all while they're doing the craziest stuff. They would love nothing more for you to take them seriously, all while they're doing some crazy stuff. And sometimes it blows her mind when you don't invest more, when you don't try to get her more because she's messing with other things and other guys and you know it. This is exactly when you don't do it. And it's funny to me because those types, they can't even see through their own BS. And they wonder why the guy they want to invest into them won't take them seriously. It's like it blows their mind. But what they don't understand is you know what they're doing. So you don't do it because you know what she's doing. You know something's not right. But if things was right, you'd be doing things a little bit differently. But it just goes to show that things ain't right. So you don't. And this is why a lot of men take the approach of being a player, although I don't recommend it. I don't recommend women doing it. I don't recommend men doing it. If people just stuck to themselves for 5 seconds, bro, like a lot longer than that, I'm just joking, but it seems like today people can't even do it for a second. There's just always chaos going on and all these crazy attachments to so many different people. And what does this tell you, bro? People who do those things, they actually ain't good enough. They ain't good enough for the person they want. So focus on yourself. Focus on your path. Stop making a mess of the whole world and yourself and her and you and everybody involved. It's just ridiculous if people could just cool it for a second. But it seems like nobody can. Almost nobody can. But you have to be that odd person that does it, bro. Like, walk away from these modern day games, bro. Walk away from the whole thing and just keep doing your thing. You will be the #1 draft pick. You're going to get the chick that every other guy wants to yourself. No one else is going to touch her for the rest of time besides you. And she's going to be your chick. You're going to be her man. And it's going to be great. Everyone's going to want it. Not everyone's going to be able to get it. And not your chick in general, but like they're going to want that, what you have for themselves, somebody else. In their way. They want the one. They want their person. But it takes time and it takes work to get that, to acquire that. It takes time. So it's on everyone individually to make that happen, to keep focusing on yourself and try to make the right moves, because if you don't, you see what happens. You waste time. You deal with people you don't even really like. You get a little something from them, and then you mess them up because they wanted something more, but you didn't. It's either the guy doing it or the girl doing it, and it's greed. And the reason women do it is because they don't have the guy they currently want. The reason men do it is because they don't have the girl they currently want. And what do you do here? You stay being patient. You stay patient. Because if you don't, you just keep damaging yourself. You keep damaging people. You keep making more and more players in this crazy, chaotic world. That's all that's happening. And that's why people resort to many different partners at once and everything else. And it's a mess. They initially make a mess of themselves by doing this, instead of spending their time getting an even further direct alignment. They just keep dealing with somebody else, which sets them back. It sets you back. So this is the real psychology behind this, and what players actually is. And some women don't understand why men become players, and it's really not hard. Like, they clearly got screwed so many times, but like I said, man, if you're a man and you got screwed that many times, you were talking to some girl for a month, a couple months that you really liked, and all of a sudden it falls through because she was talking to other people and you didn't know, she picked them over you. What you have to do here, go back to the drawing board, stop being a savage and going around creating chaos. Like stop doing that. Just come back to the drawing board, build yourself up for however many years you have to, and you're gonna be in a position where you're gonna be able to pick something and land on something that's even better than you were even dealing with before all that stuff happened. That's what will happen. And even before that happens, a lot of options is going to come your way. You're just not going to want all those options. That's the thing. And there's no need to waste anyone's time. There's no need to waste your own time. When you want to go forward and invest, you do it. And there's a bit of a risk, but you have to have solid communication with your partner. And if y'all can do this, it should be good. And as long as the communication and the days are solid, like on an ongoing basis, it should be good. Until you start to see things otherwise, keep going with it. But if you start to see things that's like crazy, you're getting weird vibes, weird energy and everything else, and you feel something's off, I guarantee you something's off. So that's when you should probably back out and understand that this person is doing different stuff that you don't know about behind closed doors. So if you feel them pull back, you got to pull back yourself. And if you're even in that position at all, I don't recommend continuing on with that person, bro, because it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. The more you invest into someone when nothing's going to happen, the more devastating it is. The less you invest and something ends, it's not going to do much. You're going to continue on and the sun's going to shine, and it is what it is. It's just a huge drop when you invested so much and your mind was on that person, bro. Y'all talked about everything, and all of a sudden, that's when shit hits the fan. And the more men are in those types of positions and situations, that's what creates players. And I don't recommend it, bro. It ain't gonna do nothing for you. Like, I get it. There's certain things you want out there, and I get it. But what y'all have to understand is you're still not gonna get what you want. It's like going out and having a drink. You wanted to drink so bad, didn't you? I don't recommend it. I recommend getting to your grind, changing your life, having options, having selections, being able to pick the one. being able to find the one. You ain't gonna do it from short-term shit. You're gonna do it from becoming a better version of yourself and focusing on becoming the most attractive person that you could possibly exist. That's it. And with that being said, God willing, God bless. We'll see y'all at the top.